Hello and welcome back to my humble abode. It's I, Michelle, and it's you, a faithful viewer. What a coincidence that we should meet in a place like this in circumstances such as these. Am I right? Am I right? Anyway, hi, here I am. Welcome, to the nonsense show. I'm cold, because it's really cold in here. Okay, down to the video. So, what I want to talk about today is something that makes me furious. Absolutely furious. And it is a phenomenon that I see all the time, unfortunately, because I spend far too much time and invest far too much energy and emotional well-being into the internet and what people who I only know through the internet think, which is stupid because it ends in heartache every time. But it is this strange phenomenon that I will show you several examples of now. So, I'm not entirely sure where this comes from, but there are many people, internet, Tumblr users, if you will, who are so egotistical and so self-centered and so brainwashed that they cannot fathom anyone that they like not having the exact same political views as them. This is unbelievably stupid. Because many of the characters that a lot of Tumblr tween-aged people who are super into fandoms are people who are absolutely horrible and who also do not in any way, shape, or form reflect the ideals and opinions of the people who love them so much. One such example of this is Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty. Now, I don't necessarily consider myself a Rick aficionado just because I'm obsessed with him, but I've watched Rick and Morty over 0 times. Therefore, I feel qualified to inform you that Rick is not Bernie Sanders. I don't think Rick's a socialist. I don't think Rick is a liberal. I'm not saying he's a conservative, but just because you like him and find him to be endearing and maybe even attractive as a character does not necessarily mean that he holds the same political views as you. And I know that may be a little bit difficult to grasp, which is precisely why I have compiled a list of quotes that I think reflect who he is very accurately. Shall we begin? They're bureaucrats. I don't respect them. Grandpa and government don't get along. You wanted to be safe from the government, so you became a stupid government. That makes every Rick here less Rick than me. Selling a gun to a hitman is the same thing as pulling the trigger. It's also the same as doing nothing. If Crumbopulous Michael wants someone dead, there's not a lot anyone can do to stop him. Akbar. We're gonna take control of this plane. We're gonna 9/11 it unless Morty gets better grades in math. Don't pay for cool stuff with your soul. Pay for it with money, you know, like how every other store in the world works. As you know, Morty, I've got a lot of enemies in the universe that consider my genius a threat. Galactic terrorists, a few subgalactic dictators, most of the entire intergalactic government. Well, wherever you find people with heads up their asses, someone wants a piece of your grandpa. And a lot of versions of me from different timelines had the same problem. So a few thousand versions of me had the ingenious idea of banding together like a herd of cattle or a school of fish or those people who answer questions on Yahoo Answers. Any epiphanies about gender politics are projections of your feminine insecurity. It's society! They work for each other, Morty. They pay each other, they buy houses, they get married and make children when they get too old to make power. That just sounds like slavery with extra steps. Ooh la la, someone's gonna get laid in college. Being nice is something stupid people do to hedge their bets. The least you could do is be ashamed of your gender. Let that sink in. Do you think Rick is a socialist? Do you think Rick would even care that Donald Trump is the president-elect? I don't think so. The problem here is that many of these characters that you absolutely idolize, worship, have spent hours grieving for and crying over and just adoring in every way possible are horrible people that you would despise in real life. How about the Onceler from the Lorax when he becomes the Greedler? How about the creepy grandpa guy from Gravity Falls? One of the selling points of one of the episodes was that he was literally bonding over Mitt Romney about the fact that they don't pay taxes together. But you love this character? Vlad Masters from Danny Phantom literally overshadows or possesses people and has them sign over their companies to him. He's literally stealing companies. He's the CEO of a bunch of companies. He's a billionaire. He's evil and awful, and he uses his money and power to do whatever he wants. But because he's Vlad Masters, we love him. How about Sam and Dean from Supernatural? If they were real people, they would be the quintessential straight white privileged males who do nothing but barge around entitled to everything they see, never considering the struggles of minorities. And what about Tony Stark? You adore him, but if he was real, oh, he would be the pinnacle of an evil, selfish, capitalist male. If Ben Carson and Marco Rubio were in an anime or some stupid CW soap opera, they would be your OTP. You would be writing 80-page doujinshis about them. So, in summation, not every character is a liberal, is a socialist, is a social justice warrior, or even a progressive in any way, just because you like them. They're not. In fact, sometimes the contradictions are so glaring that I don't understand how people are so brainwashed as to think that these characters mystically believe the exact same thing as they do. They don't. And the fact that you can't see that sometimes your political side is being made fun of by these shows just proves to me that you're not paying attention to anything and you cannot see beyond your own biases. Now, I am in no way saying that Rick and Morty specifically is a show made by a bunch of conservatives, nor am I saying that the creators are conservatives. One of the things that makes the show so brilliant is that it pokes fun at everybody and criticizes the shortcomings of every group of people and every social or political movement. And in no way do I think that Justin Roiland or Dan Harmon or Ryan Ridley or any of these people are under any obligation to answer to any of this stuff. What makes them so brilliant is that they are ambiguous about any political opinions they may have, and that they do not pull any punches when it comes to mocking and poking fun at the downfalls and drawbacks of every movement. So next time I see one of these stupid memes floating around where everybody says, if Rick Sanchez knew that Trump was the president-elect, he would blow up the earth. Stop. Think for a minute. Think for a millisecond about the character that you are so convinced has the exact same political affiliation as you, and analyze, would they even care? That's all. This is something that's been bothering me for a while, and now I've gotten it off of my chest, so to speak, and out of my brain. Hopefully my blood pressure will subside to a normal level soon, and I can go on being angry about things that actually have some kind of consequence in the real world. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys dearly, and I will see you soon.